Well, everything that we've been looking at thus far, when we're talking about solving equations, one step, multi-step, particularly on the multi-step, and in particular solving equations with a variable on each side, we found that we had one valid solution. But we could also have situations develop where we might have special solutions or special cases of solutions. And one of those would be where we might have infinitely many solutions, or any value of x would give us a valid solution. Or we might say that we have all real numbers is our solution. And a second scenario that we could find is that we have no solution. There is no value of x that's going to give us a valid and true statement. So let's go about this and see what we come up with. And I'm going to start working here on this one on the left. And so we got 7x plus 5 times x minus 1 equals negative 5 plus 12x. Well, first I'm going to distribute the 5 to the x minus 1. So then I'm going to have 7x plus 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. And that is going to equal negative 5 plus 12x. Let's combine the like terms on the left. So I've got 12x minus 5 equals negative 5 plus 12x. And let's get our variables on the left-hand side, our constants on the right. And so I'm going to then subtract 12x from both sides. And I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And let's see what we get. Well, 12x minus 12x, that gives me 0. And negative 5 plus 5 is also 0. Well, 0 and 0 is 0. What about on the right-hand side? Negative 5 plus 5, well, that's also 0. And 12x minus 12x is 0. And so I've got a statement here, 0 equals 0. Now, my variables have been canceled out. So what does this mean that I have as a solution? Well, it means algebraically that my solution set is all real numbers. Can't write. Let me rewrite that. All real numbers. Or I might see it written like this. So you could say I've got infinitely. Sometimes you'll see it written like this, infinitely many solutions. But the bottom line is any value that I substitute in here for x is going to give me a valid solution. Let's just try one. What do you say we pick 2? How about that? So I'm going to substitute in 2 for x right here. And I'm going to substitute 2 for x right here. And I'm going to substitute 2 for x right here. All right, well, 7 times 2 is 14. Plus, well, let's see, 5 times 2 is 10. And 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. So on the left-hand side, I've got 14 plus 10 minus 5. And on the right-hand side, I got negative 5 plus 12 times 2 is 24. Well, let's see, 14 plus 10 is 24 minus 5. Well, that comes to 19. And negative 5 plus 24 is also going to be 19. So in other words, any value that I plug in for x is going to give me a true solution. And my solution set is all real numbers. Now let's look at this second situation here. Again, I'm going to distribute to both sides. So here we got 6 times y is going to give me 6y. And 6 times negative 5 is going to give me negative 30. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to distribute the 2 to the 10 plus 3y. So 2 times 10 is 20. And 2 plus 3y is 6y. So on the right-hand side now, I've got 20 plus 6y. Well, let's get the variables on the left-hand side. Let's get the constants on the right-hand side. And so in order to do that, I'm going to subtract 6y from both sides. And I'm going to add 30 to both sides. And let's see what we come up with here. Well, here on the left, 6y minus 6y, well, that gives me 0. And negative 30 plus 30 also gives me 0. So it's kind of looking like the same thing I had before, but is it? Well, on the right-hand side, I got 20 plus 30. Well, that equals 50. And 6y, positive 6y, negative 6y is 0. And so I'm left here with a statement that says 0 equals 50. Well, we know that is not true. 0 does not equal 50. And so our solution set, we don't have one. There is no solution. And sometimes we may see this written as an empty set like that, a 0 with a slash through it, meaning empty set. But the bottom line is there's no solution to this problem on the right. On the problem on the left, the solution set was all real numbers. So that gives you a little snapshot of finding special solutions.